All right, Cheryl, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, I know you all have to feel the same way I do. It just absolutely every speaker just filled your heart, and and it's so beautifully done. I mean, the joy you feel, the exhilaration, it brings you almost to tears when you think that you can make so much difference in somebody's life, and that we're all doing that. We're all doing that. We've been doing it for years. There are more people waiting. In our business, it is a business. We talk about financial return, but what's really powerful here is the emotional revenue that comes from what we do, the joy that comes from what we do. I mean, I think about every one of the speakers. I was making notes on everybody because I was enjoying it, so much. And it's you look at it and you think about the story, not just the product. The product's an amazing story, we all know that, but the potential and the power of team, what team can do, how it can stretch out and put its arms around the world and literally invite people to truly change their lives in a way that's just, to me, unimaginable. I've been doing this for 35 years now, okay, and looking forward to the next 35. But we've had Juice Plus for it's almost 30 years. And we just keep seeing and hearing all these beautiful stories over and over and over. And every one of you, carry that same legacy that, as time goes by, the number of people, it won't just be you or the people you know, it'll be the people they know, the people they reach, everyone that is affected in such a wonderful way. I just, again, I loved it. As I listened to J Lo, and this whole idea of starting so she could pay for her product, and she was just going to do a little. I identify with that so well. My first thing when I started, even though I was financially terrified, I wanted to get my daughter a prom dress I couldn't afford. We all have these things sometimes that if we just do this little thing and then all of a sudden it gets a little bigger and a little bigger, and before long you stretched out and so many things. The other thing that JLo said that I loved is what happens with Juice Plus in the natural evolution of the way you change your eating. I bet you didn't think about, oh, I'm going to take this Juice Plus product and my eating choices will change. It's like the Juice Plus product kind of took over and your eating choices changed. And that's a beautiful thing because it encourages your body, your cells begin to really want that food that really nourishes them so much better. And somehow they transfer that thought to your mind, and before long you're looking for that. I see her shaking her head. So I think that's an important point, is that, and the other thing is it's the accumulation of food. Yeah, to eat fast food or sugary foods may not, make somebody feel bad right away. It's what it accumulates over time. So if Juice Plus helps you alter those choices and there's an accumulation of those choices, that's where over time you see the good health. You see the good health, multiplied and returned, and longevity sets in. So beautiful story. Thank you so much. And then I so, admired Barbara as well. This really and for both of the speakers who had rheumatoid arthritis. I mean, I watched my mother literally many years ago. She's been gone almost 50 years, but that disease with the medications and all, it took her life early. And to be able to see people have great results on that, that almost brings tears as well, but with such courage, to say, okay, I'm going to take control of this situation and I can help other people take control of this situation because of their example. And so that consistency, and I love too that, I like that you're the crazy one in your house because you're crazy good. That and then to Jennifer, I'm so proud. She made the summer incentive, and what's so interesting about what she said tonight is a lot of the things I wanted to train on, Jennifer's kind of already done it. Okay, on consistency and confidence and all of those things and how they come about. So I loved some of the things she said. I actually wrote them down and took notes on the quotes that she shared. But what an amazing thing to be part of something that, even if that's, I think about if that was the only life it touched, how blessed our company would be that they managed to touch that life. And how many other lives like that are we all given the power and the ability to touch? And I think that's what's so important, is to, really have the courage to make sure you stretch out and you share with people what you have. And she also said, if she was talking about consistency and sharing with other people and having the confidence to share with other people. And what did she say? I just learned to love on people. If we look at our world today, I don't think we've ever been in a time in history where people needed to be loved on more than they need to be loved on today. We were talking earlier, I've been on a few other calls today, which were wonderful as well. But if we look at where we all are in this situation in life, uh, our habits have been forced to change. We don't have quite the same habits because we kind of got out of the rhythm of what our life was like. We were kind of locked in for a long time, and there was this invisible virus that was so threatening. It was real, still real, but people are beginning to move out and about. Inflation has become a huge issue and worldwide. Talking to the Australian distributors, the other side of the world, they're experiencing the same thing we're experiencing. We see, violence that is, more or less just, it shows up in places never expected. So there's this fear that's kind of underlying, that's hard to really identify, but we all carry the stress of that. So we tend to, I think, be a little more shy about being out and about in the world because we have more or less lost that habit of being out and about. And then we have that little, it's not little, but it's an underlying stress or fear of trepidation of, what's going to get right. And if you look at this, and I think I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again because I really believe it, is that anytime there is huge difficulty in the world, it could be natural disaster, it could be war, it could be, and those things are happening too. But when you see these things, usually there are people that need help always, and there are people who come to help. And in this situation that we're in right now, in this life experience that we're having, we are the people who are empowered to be the ones to help. We're the people who are empowered to be the ones to go to the aid of others. I was sharing too with another team a little while ago, our company, well, I think his title, Sean Hopkins, is Chief Financial Officer, but he really runs sales and, kind of everything here in the North American continent. And he was just at the DSA meeting. The DSA meeting once a year, this is the governing body for, all of the companies and businesses in this profession. And the word for that particular meeting was called meatology, MEETOLGY, meat. And that there is this huge hunger that people have now for, connection, for all of us. I think when the masks began to come off, you wanted to see people smile. It made me feel so good to see people smile. Like I hadn't seen anybody smile in 2 years. I hadn't been out and about to do that. So, this desire people have for connection, and yet that there's the trepidation as well because of the situation of the world. And so I think for us, it's going to be so important to listen to Jennifer's words. You just got to reach out and love on them, and it's going to be baby steps in a sense. It's going to be looking at the people that are on your team and, inviting somebody to lunch, inviting them to come to a small event at your house, having a small luncheon together. We have become, we're fortunate, first of all, we're fortunate to have the social media platforms we have, the technology where we can see each other in situations like this. And I think during the whole pandemic, we were blessed as a company that we were able to stay connected, and everybody should be congratulating themselves over the moon for the great job that they've done during this time and in being able to hold on to the stability of who and what we're about. But as we begin to stretch out, it's going to be really important to take those baby steps. Our company CEO, many of you may have met or seen, Stuart Kronage. She's been our CEO now for, I think, the last year and a half. And she said something at one of our large events, well, it's a leadership event. She said, you know, I've always heard this profession was the best kept secret. And I think it's time to take it out into the sunshine and talk about our business, who we are, what we have to offer. So if we look at, you know, who we are, and that we're more relevant than we've ever been in our life. We're 52 years old as a company. Our products, our business, our community has never been more relevant or more desired than it is right now. So if we know that, then it's going to be a matter of really having the courage to say, okay, I'm going to make sure that as many people as possible are going to hear about my product and hear about my business. They're going to be invited to join the mission. They're going to be invited to share in the product. They're going to be invited in the community, and we just love on them. Now, it doesn't mean you have to, you know, tell the whole story and the minute you meet somebody for the first time, but it does mean you build those relationships in person, people looking for that person-to-person connection. And we are very good at telling our product story through the stories. After you heard the stories tonight, it just, you know, can you imagine that this product would not be wonderful for everybody you come across? Listen to the various results. You know, it isn't that Juice Plus just did one thing, okay? It's what I have realized over these years is whatever your body needs, Juice Plus is there to foundationally help the body get the very best results. And so to see people step out of pain and everything that goes along with that, to be able to protect their health and have that feeling of security, or to be able to have the feeling of security that, you know, they've got an avenue to create income so that they don't have to have that stress of financial fear that's beginning to cover everybody over because of inflation, and that they get to be part of community that is a loving, caring community that wants to see people do well, that is our mission, is to see people do well. So my whole philosophy has been always, and I kind of started with this, if I'm really going to be the best at what I do, if I'm going to really make a difference, then I can't do it by myself. I need to stretch out and put my arms around everybody I can find and invite them to be part of this mission as well, to invite them to partner, to invite them to be part of the team, the community, the like-minded desire to be people who show up to help those people who need help. And doesn't mean that there's anybody out there who doesn't need help. I think we all do in one, if not all, of these various areas. And what was it? Did I hear Charlene say that? And I've heard this 2 or 3 times today from people is, I feel so much more secure. Not only do I have the finances to make choices as to where I work or where I live or how I live, but I feel secure too about the health of my body as I get out and about. So if you think about the product, that's pretty easy to share the stories to, I mean, this particular evening, every Thursday night is recorded. It's on a YouTube channel. You could pull any one of those, you know, story times and share it with somebody, especially if there's a story that resonates and is similar to what someone's dealing with. But we've been very, very good at that. But I think at this point, it's the commitment to, and we're going to look at the word confidence. And that's why I said Jennifer laid the groundwork for me tonight as far as confidence is concerned. But to acquire the confidence to talk about our business, the power of our business, to invite people to at least know about what's available so they have the option to utilize it in their lives if possible. Today, and we all have read this or heard it or know it, it takes at least $500 to $600 a month because of inflation to buy exactly what you could buy a year ago, and maybe even less. So we are someone who can make a difference and help there. And so we're talking about everyone. So it's talking about your business, and we talk about the business story and having the confidence not only to tell the product story, but the business story, and making sure that you share it with everybody that you come across. Now, my philosophy from the beginning, you've probably heard me say this, is that I look at people as if they're a long line out into infinity and they're lined up straight to the moon, okay? So whether they're people I know, whether they're people I meet during the day, whether they're people I'm, reaching out in whatever way, social media, face-to-face, a conversation, that I'm really looking and listening for that opportunity to share what I have to offer. So it may not be in the first conversation, it may be in the second or the third, but it's to build a relationship where you have an opportunity to share what you have. Now, in starting your business too, you may have that list of, and everybody would want to have it. The people you really like and love and admire that you'd like to be waking up working with every day. And write a little note to yourself. What is it that you like about and love about that person? And let them know. I would choose you if I could choose anybody, because this is what I admire about you. This is why I would love for you to be part of this with me. If it fits for you, great. If not, know that I care. That's loving on people, whether they choose or not. When you talk about a business story, the business story is not, oh, I made this much money, or, this is what, my check. It's none of that. The business story, and we're back to loving on people, is for you to describe to someone what the potential is you see for yourself. The potential for me when I saw it was, I was financially pretty desperate, and I wanted to be able to send my children to college. I couldn't do that on a teacher's salary in Louisiana. That was very important to me. My first thing was I wanted a prom dress for my daughter, who it was her first prom and I couldn't afford it. So that was like the immediate goal. And we got the prom dress, and we eventually got the educations that my children needed. But what I shared with people is, this is what I see for myself, is that I really believe this can be the avenue for me to do things for my family that I want to do. So what is it that you see for yourself? Is it that you see time freedom? Is it that you see a feeling of security that you can provide some of the things for your family that you want? Is it contribution? Is it that you love the feeling when somebody does well or somebody steps out of financial fear? That's what it evolved for me. It was loving that feeling that you get, that feeling of joy that comes along. Did you all feel joy tonight? In everybody's stories, you felt joy, And the same thing happens with our business, is you really feel joy for people as they begin to breathe financially. So when you tell your business story, you want to talk about the potential of what you see for yourself, and be vulnerable, be honest. These are usually what people are sharing, or the things that they're fearful about. For me, I was afraid I would not be able to send my children to college, and that was a big standard for me as far as my life. And there was no such thing as student loans then. That might have been a good thing, I don't know. But, it's share what it is, be vulnerable enough to say, this is what I feel like it can do for me. Now, it might be that you love contribution and you want to help others. It might be that you want your time back. And your time is totally taken up, or maybe you want to be the mom who gets to stay home and have the privilege of rearing her own children, or being able to provide those extra things, or just feeling like you can breathe financially in this time of inflation and basically recession. It's important to know too, as you build this business, and I've looked at this over my 35 years, and I've certainly seen it statistically with our company, is that we are the most productive. We have had our largest business years, and remember, we do billions of dollars as a company. We've had our largest business years in times of recession because people, we have a product everybody needs, wants, and basically can afford, especially as compared to what is available. And we have a business that everybody is invited to do. So it's a way for people to service the community, service a need, but at the same time create income. So share with people your business story is in your heart. It doesn't have to be something that is, oh, I've achieved this, or wait till I've done that. It's the potential of what you see, because people will step into potential before they will acquire gain. If you can quote big numbers if you wanted to. There are people in our business that make huge amounts of income over time. It grows. If you're consistent, it's going to grow. But most people respond to that beginning story of, this is what I see for myself, because they can identify by thinking about what they would like to see for themselves. So really the confidence to talk about that, the vulnerability to do it. And I want to talk just a little bit about confidence and also consistency. Jennifer shared this with you beautifully. But again, sharing that compassion from the heart. I loved it. I wrote down, Jennifer did the training really tonight, okay? You have seen her just in her story grow into someone who has stepped into, I guess you would say, a stronger version. The strength is always there. It's just the push to step into it. So very consistent with the story. And as she said, through confidence, that's how she achieved. That's how she achieved the things that she wanted, like she's now going to get the conference ticket because she's already met the summer incentive. So the goals, but achieved. So let's talk about confidence, because no one starts with this great confidence of the stories, the product, the anything. It usually makes sense, and it makes sense that it would work, but the confidence level, so that you're absolutely bulletproof, that no matter who you're talking to, you're going to listen long enough to weave the story in. So confidence is when you truly, if you look deep inside yourself, it's a feeling that you have something of value, and that the value outweighs the fear of sharing it with other people. So think about that. Your value, the value of the product, the value of the years of longevity. We're a 52-year-old company. And if we look at this organization, just my organization down, you all of us, okay, in this organization, we do over $10 million worth of Juice Plus sales every month. Now, just think that's part of your story, okay? That's part of what you are a part of that you're doing. Think how many people are swallowing the product. Think about 30 years of people having good results. So the value's there, and you can go assured that the value's there and it outweighs the fear. The longevity of the people who've consistently created income as their businesses grew, the value is there. That value can outweigh the fear. So confidence is built. The other thing, and it's a major thing in building confidence, is that you continually do something over and over until you have mastered it. Whether it's driving a car, riding a bike, no matter, all those things we learned as we were growing up, they finally become second nature to you. And then that's labeled confidence. I have confidence that I can drive my car anywhere I need to go. I did not have that confidence when I first got in the car. I don't think anyone does. So this is the term you might want to write down. Repetition ensures integration. Now, when we say integration, that means that it's almost like the brain goes into overdrive and takes over. If you've told the product story often enough, I mean, it's like here 30 years, and of course, 20 years later, 15 years later, after I started, it would have felt uncomfortable to have a conversation with somebody and not be looking for a way to weave it in. The same goes with the business story. So repetition ensures integration to the point where it becomes more natural for you to do an activity than to neglect to do it. So now that though takes courage, because you have to consistently do it and force yourself into that rhythm so that the confidence is acquired. And at this point in history, we really have a mission, almost a moral obligation, but we also have what I like to refer to now as the COVID coma, because we have had so many experiences that have been fear-induced, which were real, that it's a little harder to do that. So you're going to have to really monitor yourself. So then if you look at building your team, growing confidence, you gaining confidence and then it growing, is also being able to transfer that confidence to the people that are part of your team. And that's really a way to acquire it as well. When I started too, and as I look at my whole business, Jeff Roberti had a lot of confidence about his business. So I felt like I better show up with some confidence. Okay. So I figured I'd better figure out how to get it fairly quickly, because people follow strength. So really working on that repetition over and over to ensure integration. The other thing would be to build confidence, stay connected. Stay connected to the everything that you can immerse yourself into. Stay connected to your upline every day. Really strategizing on what are you doing to go to the next position. Stay connected to the Monday night call, because you're going to hear things that, again, renew your belief. Confidence comes from very deep belief in what you have to offer and the value of it. So immerse yourselves in things that are going to reinforce that belief. Monday night call, we always have a speaker, and I started that call for myself because it reinforced my belief. This call, as you get off of this call tonight and you've heard the stories you heard tonight, do you have amazing confidence in what you have to offer? I mean, you feel bulletproof where your product is concerned. And the same goes with your business. You want to start talking about the business. You want to start talking about stepping out of financial fear. You want to start talking about your desires and dreams and what you see can happen for you and what your desires are. And then you can reflect on people who have been here through this longevity of time and what that you have that also to come behind you as the validation of what you're saying. So stay connected, because if you're immersed in this, your belief is reinforced. The other thing is to know all aspects of your business. And I think this is really important. It's something we want to get back to doing on this call, is in this training part, going over, what the pay plan looks like. What is the first goal, the second goal, what position are we going to next? How do you walk yourself through that pay plan? And we can do that here in the next week or two again. And then how do you help other people walk through? Because when you have the logistics down, you can step into action. And action is what overcomes fear, is action. The other thing is get a buddy, as we've heard Jay Martin say. You need somebody who, and these teams, there's so many great buddies. As I listen to Charlene and her team, I know they all know each other, support each other, they're buddies in place. But have people on your team, buddy with you, so that there's somebody to cheer for you when things go well, and you to cheer for them when things go well for them. And there's somebody to hear when you have a bad day and say it's going to be okay. So that's a very important part of building confidence as well. Also, as you build your teams, it's to really recognize the strengths in people from the very beginning. You know, look at someone and say, you know what I see, whatever, and it's got to be authentic. You're so good with people, or you love people so much. I love that you know, that contribution is important to you. I love that you like to see people do well. That's a great strength. Help people identify their strengths. One of the things I've discovered over the years is most people don't see their strengths. They're trying to deal with whatever they feel their weaknesses are. Don't concentrate on weaknesses. Lean into your strengths and help other people lean into their strengths, because confidence and pride will come from that, and they'll feel good about themselves. And when people feel good about themselves, it's a lot easier to enroll other people to feel good about themselves. And so, as Jay Martin says, our company president, you get the snowball going in the right direction, and it gets bigger and bigger. And it's the snowball of positive reinforcement. So as you have people that join your team, or even if they've been on your team, like for me, I have people on my team 35 years, 34 years, and I'll still say, you know what is so amazing about you? Tell people what is amazing about them. Help them feel that good feeling of what they have to offer to the world. And the fact that somebody really believes in them, that goes a long way. There were times when, you know, we all get discouraged from time to time, and I'd call Jeff, my sponsor, I even do it sometime today, and say, you know, this is worrying me, or I feel disappointed about this, because we all have disappointments. And he'd say, Cheryl, as smart and talented as you are, you just take care of that. You can figure that out. Well, I had to go figure it out. I couldn't let him down. I mean, and then he said I was smart and talented. So, you know, help people step into their best selves. And then, and we'll talk about this on the next call, because I do feel like we need to really get back to our pay plan, is, you know, what is the formula going to be for success as far as building the actual structure of the business? And of course, we're out of time now. So, you know, this will be next week's call. I'm going to tape it to the wall, so I'm sure I remember. Okay. But again, I'm going to say, we've never been more relevant. You will never have a better opportunity for your business to grow than you do right now. It's going to be inviting the people who are already on your team to step out into the sunshine with small events, luncheons, meet and greet, going to meet somebody new, go to their house, invite them to yours. We have to go back to the baby steps of go out and take somebody by the hand and say, come back out into the world with me, and let's be on a mission together. There'll never be a time, I don't think there could be a time, you heard Charlene say it from the very beginning, so many people are sick, and it's not now just COVID related. There are just so many things. So people have a fear there. Help them have something to at least give them a foundation to make a difference in their lives from a product standpoint. As far as inflation, recession, we can help. So we're gonna commit to the courage to do that. And then next week, we'll go through the pay plan, and then we'll talk about what's the strategy for unlimited income. Because the beauty of what we do has no ceiling on it. You can grow this over time, and it continues to grow and will always continue to grow with a lot of the things you heard our speakers say tonight. Consistency of effort, loving on people, developing confidence through consistent repetition, you know, really having that mindset that you expect success. You expect success in your health, you expect success in your business, and you expect to be part of a loving community that really wants to make the difference for other people. So I could talk to you till midnight, but it's best I don't, okay? Because it'll wear you out. But I'm so proud of everybody, and let's be the team that really, again, invites people back out into the world and really makes the difference. Okay, folks? Good night. Thanks to all our speakers. You were absolutely amazing, and we love you, every one of you. It's great to be part of this Juice Plus family. Good night,
Good
everyone.
night. Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good
Thank you,
night,
Cheryl.
everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Awesome call.
everybody.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.